Well, hello and welcome to the 196th episode of the Brian Hornback Experience, coming to you from the Old Forge Distillery Podcast Studios. Yep, that up there is President Ford, and that over there is President George W. Bush. The rest of them are behind the painting. But we are in the Old Forge Distillery Podcast Studio, and those folks at Old Forge Distillery up in Pigeon Forge, they're producing some great product right now. I have done a review on their Iron Mountain Southern Drift right there. And then the other night I did a chocolate coconut coffee moonshine cocktail. All those are on TikTok. So if you're not on TikTok, don't worry about it. If you are, find me on there. And you'll get to hear about the new stuff coming out from Old Forge Distillery. Again, if you can't drink responsibly, please don't. You like the hat? Happy birthday, America. In God we trust. American flag. 250th. That's going to be on July the 4th of 2026. Here we are. Just the Monday night before Thanksgiving. So we got a little more than, 5 weeks to go, and we hit 2026. July 4th, we will celebrate the 250th birthday of America. It's going to be phenomenal. It's going to be unlike anything you've ever seen before. And for those of us that are my age, we went through the 200th in 1976. And so here we are in the 250th. I am sure Trump is going to do something huge for the birthday of America. But what I want to do is I want to come on to you, talk to you in this 196th episode of the Brian Hornback Experience about kind of what's going on locally. You hadn't heard from me in a while, so let's speed it up, right? Just this past Friday, Senator Ken Yeager had another phenomenal annual chili supper down in Harriman, Tennessee, on the campus of Roane State Community College. He does it the Friday before Thanksgiving every year. So if you want to go down on for the 31st annual chili supper, then you just need to put it on your calendar the Friday before Thanksgiving to be 5 o'clock on the Roane State Community College campus in Harriman. Tickets are $10. They have a silent auction that goes on. Chili, chips, cheese if you want it. Hot dog. This year they had jalapeno hot dogs. This year, Marsha Blackburn was really the star of the show. Also there was Tennessee State House Republican leader Johnny Garrett, who's running for Congress. His opponent, Van Hillary, former congressman, was there. Congressman Fleischman was there. Congressman Burchett was there. Knox County Mayor Glenn Jacobs was there. Kelly Kiesling, state representative from up on the plateau, was there. The Lieutenant Governor Randy McNally was there. The Senate Majority Leader Jack Johnson was there. State Senator Richard Briggs was there. And State Senator Jesse Seal was there. I think that was most of the kind of the statewide folks. Everybody who's an elected official in Roane County was there. And so it was good. By the way, I did not mention this hat. You can purchase this hat for $25 from Lowell Russell, State Representative Lowell Russell. He's from down in Monroe and Loudoun counties. If you want the link to where you can purchase it for $25, if he can deliver it to you, he will deliver it to you. Or he can also mail it to you. But this hat is one of his many hats that he sells to help fund his election campaigns, all right? So, cool hat. I enjoy it. Going to wear it quite a bit between now and July, but y'all know I got all kinds of hats. Wow. Politically, before that, a lot of things happened. I think we've already talked about the sales tax increase being voted down. Happy to say that the Mega Bull Horn of Truth, BrianHornback.com, Brian's blog, was right there supporting Bentley Marlowe and Parker Bartholomew in fighting that. Knox County Republican Party had a great organization out of Nashville helping to fight that. And so the combined efforts really beat back Mayor Kincannon's sales tax increase and really saved the people of Knoxville and the people of East Tennessee from spending another quarter-cent in taxes. We've been taxed enough. The rejection of Kamala Harris, the election of Donald Trump proved that. And so I'm happy to say that I was a part of that. I'm also happy to say that I was a part of the close race of Jeff Tallman getting close in the 4th City Council District. Let me just say this about that race. Jeff had ran 2 years ago for mayor. He ran again for City Council in the 4th District. Did really well in the blue-collar districts of the 4th City Council District. He came up short. Obviously, the Democrats have a little bit better ground game, but they lost some races. They lost in the 3rd District. Doug Lloyd, obviously well-financed, outworked Frank Ramey. And so Doug Lloyd is going to replace Seema Singh. Also, Denzel Grant, obviously in the primary, the individuals that had voted Republican finished 3rd, 4th. 3rd and 5th. Is that right? Maybe it's 4th and 5th. Anyway, Charles Frazier and George Rodenbush were the Republicans, or the ones with Republican voting records, and they lost. But Lawrence Williams, who came in 3rd, and Charles Frazier came in 4th, endorsed Denzel Grant. And so Denzel won that race. Yes, Denzel has a Democrat voting record, but in a nonpartisan election, I think he's somebody that the Republicans can work with. Certainly not a fan of the sales tax, was not a fan of selling Chowley Park from the beginning. Stan Johnson's a great guy. I've known Stan for a number of years. He came to my church, came to my Sunday school class many years ago, talking about seed. And so the work he does in East Knoxville and the work he does with seed is phenomenal. And so Stan has a future. It just wasn't this year. I've been there. I was 23 years old in 1990, ran against a 23-year incumbent. There was another person in the race. I lost by 112 votes, 112 votes. And so, 10 years later, fast forward 10 years later, I ran for school board, was elected, beating the vice chairman of the school board at the time, served 4 years on the school board, then was elected Knox County Republican Party chairman, and that term ended in 2007, and then again, I didn't end up doing anything, from a leadership or an elected experience until the state executive committee in 2021, when my friend Matthew Coleman relocated his family outside the district, so that opened up a vacancy, and so I went on there and then was elected in 2022 by the voters. So I'm happy to serve the Tennessee Republican Party. We've got a meeting coming up in about 2 weeks on December the 6th. We'll be voting on some initiatives, but I can say that the Tennessee Republican Party is stronger today because of the dedicated people of the State Executive Committee. And we are continuing to fight the battle every day, and we're continuing to work together with party leaders to make our party better. Our party did not become an overnight sensation because everybody woke up and said, I'm a Republican purist. I was a member of the Republican Party when we were lucky to win 2 races a year. We were the super minority party, as I like to say, and we were not winning races. We did not have every seat in the courthouse. We had a few here and a few there, and not very many that we were proud of, to be perfectly honest with you. We had some great leaders in the state house. Loy Smith, one of my mentors, was in the house. Buddy Scruggs was in the house. And outside of that, there wasn't very many until the early 90s. Ed Dossett really kind of came along in 1990, a former district attorney general who unfortunately passed away in 1992 due to cancer. But we all worked together in the early 90s, and how we changed that locally was to convince the people who were Democrats that your party's left you. You need to come over to our party. And, now we've got enough people here that we don't necessarily rely on that. But that's how the party grew to a supermajority party. Yes, we've had some good Republicans from the grassroots level. Eddie Smith beat Gloria Johnson several times, and we had never been able to beat Gloria. We had a candidate try, was unsuccessful. Eddie was able to beat her and was able to serve about 3 terms in the legislature. Today, he's doing great work at Child Help, really helping to lock up the child predators, the people who are doing crimes on children, and he's serving us on the election commission as election commissioner. We got folks like Roger Kane, who served in the legislature. We had folks like Maria Perulis, Tim Burchett, that served us in the legislature. Look, we don't always have to agree on every. We don't have to agree on every punctuation, every dotted I, every crossed T. But at the end of the day, we got to believe in small government, limited taxes, and doing what's right for people, right? But let's talk about something that's coming up on the county commission, and that is the fact that Andy Jackson, a guy that was elected in 2006 to the General Sessions Court, Division 4, he announced on, I believe it was October 30th or 31st, whatever that Friday was, that effective December 31st, he was going to retire. Andy served well. He was a member of the District Attorney General's office. Then he was elected in 2006 while I was chairman to be a General Sessions judge in Division 4. Has done a very good job, and he's now at that stage of life where he says, you know what, I'm ready to go home. I'm ready to go home. Not because he has to, simply because, life, as you get older, you're like, come on, it's time. And so he's going to retire. So county commission is accepting applications. Now, don't everybody go out there and fill out an application, because you got to be a lawyer. You got to be licensed to practice law. And you really need to have been able to be a judge, right? You can't just be a lawyer out of law school and say, hey, I want to be a judge. I mean, I guess you can, but you got to convince a majority of 11, that's 6 county commissioners, that you would be a good General Sessions judge in Division 4. We got several candidates that I know that are going to apply. The deadline for applying is December the 1st. That's a week from today. A week from today, December 1st. You got to apply with the Knox County Commission office. If you really want a chance to get it, you're going to have to call these county commissioners. You're going to have individuals call these county commissioners and say why you would be the better General Sessions Judge, Division 4, than somebody else or any other applicant, right? So the applicants that I know of right now are Andrea Klein from the District Attorney General's office. She's in the DUI, currently on the DUI team in the District Attorney General's office. Kevin Teeters, who works I believe he works in the felony or the criminal aspect of General Sessions Court. He works with the District Attorney General's office also, Kevin Teeters. And then another gentleman by the name of Jason Honeycutt, who also works in the District Attorney General's office. And then you have Commissioner Rhonda Lee. And so Rhonda has served for almost, 3.5 years on county commission. Her seat is up. And so she was going to have to stand for election in the Republican primary in May 5th of 2026, Cinco de Mayo, and then run again in August in the general election, and then run in the and then be sworn back in September 1st. Former chairman of the Knox County Republican Party, Buddy Burkhart, had already announced and already named a treasurer to challenge Commissioner Lee. And now that Commissioner Lee has moved toward running for this judgeship, whether she gets appointed or not, then she has a candidate, Barry Beeler, who's secretary of the party, who I think is going to run as well. So anyway, so that race is shaping up. Some more races that are going to be on the May ballot, county commission-wise. Our commission chair, Gina Oster, is running for re-election in the 3rd district. The seat that I just talked about with Buddy Burkhart and Beeler is in the 7th district, and then the 2 at-large seats, seat 10 and 11. 10's represented by Larson J., who's running for county mayor, and also Kim Frazier, who's in seat 11, who's also running for county mayor, and they're joined by 6th district school board member Betsy Henderson, who served 2 years as the school board chair. So you got a 3-way Republican primary for county mayor. Glenn Jacobs is term limited. He's a lame duck, and so he's getting ready to experience, I guess, his last 8 months in office, starting January 1. School board has 5 seats up for election. District 9 current chair Christy Christie is running for re-election. Wow, that's going to be hard. Anyway, I know the 6th is up. I know the 1st is up. I know the 4th is up. 1st, 4th, 6th, 7th, and 9th. That's it. So that is, 1st is Dr. John Butler. No indication yet if he's running yet or not. 4th is Kat Bike. She is running. We need a Republican out of Sequoia Hills. Sequoia Hills, you've had a lot of issues with West High School. You need the new leadership. You need a Republican. You need to take on Kat Bike, somebody in Sequoia Hills or in the 4th district. And then in the 6th, Betsy Henderson obviously is not running for re-election. Needs somebody there. And then 7th, Steve Triplett. He's currently on the school board. He was vice chairman for a couple of years. He's running. And then in the 9th, Christy Christie is running for re-election. So that's kind of the legislative races that are going on. Got the Dr. Pepper Zero Sugar. So we'll talk about some of the countywide races later. But I just want to get on here. Look, I've said it. I'm tired of saying it because when I finally lay down at 2 o'clock, 3 o'clock in the morning to get a few hours of sleep, I think, okay, I didn't do a podcast. I'm really going to try. Forget it. I'm not even going to say it. Going to work to put out content on Tuesdays and Thursdays like everybody else in the podcast world. But that's the attempt. So you're getting this one on a Tuesday, and this one being recorded on a Monday. Maybe over the Thanksgiving weekend, I can put some content together so that put some in the hopper that will go live on Tuesdays and Thursdays. So I'm not making any promises. I'm just telling you that this ain't all I do. I'm not just a blogger. I'm not just a podcaster. but it is what consumes my passion, consumes my time. Anyway, with all that being said, folks, I hope to get back on here sometime around Thanksgiving. Obviously, this is the Monday before Thanksgiving. I am really hoping to get something else up this week. And so, y'all be nice, be kind. Look, before I end it, there was a couple of quotes I meant to bring over here. They're over there. So I'll bring them back. I can quote one of them right off the top. I saw some stuff. Some folks sent me some stuff on Facebook where, somebody's trying to drug up the past. And, it's funny because they assume that because somebody purchases an ad on brownhornback.com, that means I'm endorsing them or I'm supporting them. And I'm going to be honest with you. Money's money. You can spend things however you want to spend them. But I'm just going to tell you that if somebody really wanted to advertise somewhere and they were denied, just like back in the day, if somebody didn't bake a cake for somebody, there was a lawsuit filed, right? And so if you didn't bake a wedding cake for somebody, for a couple, there was a lawsuit filed. It didn't matter what side of the social issue you were on. If it was a baker that didn't want to bake a cake for a straight couple, there was a lawsuit filed. If there was a situation with the other one, they didn't. Look, anybody that wants to purchase an ad on my sites, I think the fact is, if you don't have anything offensive on there or anything that's going to put me in trouble with the FCC, I think I have an obligation to put that ad on the website. And I'm going, unless it's an in-kind ad, that I'm going to receive compensation for that ad. That's part of what I started doing. Blog started in 2004, August 9th of 2004. And when I went from 2004 to 2013 with 0 ads, did it just because I wanted to have a blog and get some views out because that was my passion. And I did it. And I did it building a brand. And in 2013, when we went from one platform over to hosting the own site, then I started putting ads on there. And now I'm on a better platform today. We're the megabullhornetruth.com. We're brownhornback.com. So we're growing the brand. And as long as you're not going to put something offensive, something that I, for religious reasons, don't agree with, for the most part, I stand behind First Amendment right to say whatever you want to say, as long as it's not offensive or against the law. And if you want to spend money on that ad, I'm going to welcome you to spend your money on that ad so that I can continue to grow the brand, so that I can continue to buy stickers, so that I can continue to buy arm bracelets, so I can continue to get the brand out. And so if that offends people, so be it. But to quote President Richard Milhouse Nixon, as he was on his way out the door, others may hate you, but they only win if you hate them back. So, you know what? As long as I'm living rent-free in your head, as long as you're talking about me, as long as you're consumed about me, as long as you're putting me in with other people that have given to candidates or have endorsed candidates, but I've not endorsed them. I've not given them money. They've given me money to my blog to support BrianHornback.com or now the megabullhornetruth.com. Then guess what? I'm living rent-free in your head. All right. Y'all check me out, megabullhornetruth.com, BrianHornback.com, and we'll see you soon. if I don't see you before Thanksgiving, please, please have a happy Thanksgiving. Enjoy time with your family. Enjoy the food. We'll have the wife puts on a typical traditional Thanksgiving meal here. My immediate family comes in. It's a great time, and so we enjoy it. And then it's Christmas. All right, y'all have a great time and be kind.